Minister, reporting by Reuters and others of polling showing that 3 in 4 residents of Gaza and the West Bank support the terrorist group Hamas and indeed their actions on the 7th of October has led to questions about the security implications of visas being issued to this cohort during the current crisis. In an interview with the ABC on Sunday, the Director General of ASIO, Mike Burgess, said, and I quote, "Part of that visa process is when criteria are hit, they are referred to my organisation and ASIO does its thing," end quote. Will the Minister commit to referring every visa application from this cohort to ASIO so that it can conduct the appropriate security checks?
Well, I'm sure that Senator Fawcett would agree that Australia has a proud record of working with our international allies to help people escape from crisis, such as what we're seeing in Gaza right now. The war between Israel and Hamas has displaced millions of Palestinians, and Australia has once again done our part. But we have not allowed this to compromise our national security. I'm a little surprised to hear Senator Fawcett question the judgment of, Senator Fawcett asked the question. Senator Fawcett's a big boy. He's okay. I am a little surprised to hear Senator Fawcett, who, as I say, I know has respect for our armed forces, as a former armed forces member himself, question the judgment of the Director General of ASIO, Mr. Mike Burgess.
Minister, please resume your seat.
Thank you, President. Relevance. The question was about the government's commitment to refer every application, not about the judgment of the Director General.
We are following exactly the same process as occurred under the former government. Applicants for visas, as is the case here, are checked for security risks. So I think the question for the opposition is whether they have faith in ASIO or not.
Minister, the issue for you is that in the same interview, the Director General said, and I quote, "When things get referred to ASIO, we deal with them effectively. Of course, there might be times when they don't get or didn't get referred to us in time," end quote. Is this why multiple individuals leaving Gaza had their Australian visas cancelled after they've been granted?
I would have thought it's a good thing for ASIO to provide advice that certain individuals' visas should be cancelled or not granted, rather than not making that decision. That's an example of ASIO doing its job and the government listening to the advice of ASIO. Would the opposition seriously prefer us to ignore the advice of ASIO? What we've done in some instances is cancel visas when security checks have revealed that those individuals should not be granted a visa.
Media reports suggest that the Albanese government is developing a visa pathway to allow temporary visa holders from Palestine to remain in Australia. Minister, will you make a commitment to the Australian people that not a single Hamas supporter will be brought into Australia under this scheme?
We respect the advice of our security agencies and people like Mr. Burgess, and we act on that advice. So I'm confident that ministers will act in accordance with that advice when those decisions are required. What I also saw Mr. Burke say, as the incoming Home Affairs Minister, he made the very obvious point that Gaza is a war zone. People were provided with tourist visas initially in order to get them out of a conflict zone quickly after security checks had been undertaken. But it is unrealistic to think that it is proper or safe to return people to a conflict zone like Gaza, which is why further consideration is being given to their status going forward.